In a small, forgotten village, far from the bustle of towns and cities, there was a modest shop where candles were made by hand. Rows of them stood on shelves, some tall, some short, some smooth and elegant, others rough and uneven. Among them was a simple little candle with a pale wax body and a wick that had never been lit. For weeks it had sat on the shelf, watching others come and go, wondering about its purpose. The candle often whispered to itself, "Why am I here? What am I meant to do?" Each time someone entered the shop, it hoped to be chosen. Sometimes, villagers came to buy candles for their homes, for celebrations, or even for prayers at the old temple. But no one seemed to notice the little candle. It felt invisible, as though it had no value. One evening, as the candle sat in silence, an old half-melted candle beside it spoke. Its wax was scarred and its body short, but its flame flickered with gentle warmth. "Why do you look so troubled, little one?" the old candle asked. The small candle replied, "I feel lost. I don't know why I was made. Day after day, I sit here, untouched, unwanted. Perhaps I have no meaning at all." The older candle chuckled softly, its flame dancing. "We were all made for one reason, to burn, to give light in the darkness. To remain on this shelf forever would mean never fulfilling what we were created for." The little candle frowned. "But burning means losing myself. If I burn, I will melt away until nothing is left. Isn't that just suffering?" The old candle's flame dimmed for a moment, then brightened again. "Yes, you will melt. Yes, you will grow smaller. But in doing so, you will shine. You will bring light to those who need it. Isn't that far better than staying whole but useless?" The little candle fell silent. Deep down, it was afraid. Afraid of pain, afraid of being consumed. It wanted to know its purpose, yet feared what that purpose required. And so it remained on the shelf, night after night, waiting. One stormy evening, the power in the village went out. Darkness swallowed every home, and fear spread quickly. The shopkeeper hurried into the store, searching for candles. His hands reached the shelf and, without thought, grabbed the little candle. At last, it had been chosen. The shopkeeper struck a match, and for the first time, the little candle felt fire touch its wick. It trembled as the flame took hold. Warmth spread through it, and light radiated outward, pushing back the darkness. Children in the shop stopped crying. A family gathered closer, smiling in relief. The old shopkeeper placed the candle in the center of the room, and everyone's eyes reflected its gentle glow. The little candle saw their joy, their gratitude, their comfort. In that moment, it understood. It was true. It was melting. Bit by bit, wax dripped down its sides. It could feel itself growing smaller, weaker. But instead of sadness, it felt peace. Every drop of wax was a gift, every second of light a blessing. It was finally living its purpose, and in that purpose there was no suffering, only meaning. The old candle flickered nearby, smiling through its wavering flame. Do you see now? We are not lost. We only feel lost when we refuse to burn, when we hide from what we were made for. Purpose is not about holding on, it is about giving. The little candle glowed brighter. It had spent so long questioning its worth, fearing the pain of sacrifice, when all along the answer was simple. Life becomes meaningful when we give ourselves to others. As the night wore on, the storm outside raged, but the small room remained filled with warmth and light. Families shared stories, laughter, and comfort. The darkness never won, because the little candle kept burning. By dawn, the storm had passed, and the village awoke to a new day. The little candle was nearly gone, only a stub of wax left. Yet it had no regret. In its final moments, it whispered softly, "I was never lost. I only needed to let myself shine." And then, with one last flicker, the flame died out. The room was brighter now, filled with morning light. The people who had gathered carried with them not just relief from the storm, but the quiet memory of a small candle that had given them hope in the darkness. Sometimes in life, we feel like that unlit candle, unsure of why we are here, afraid of what we must lose to find our meaning. But just like the candle, we were not made to sit unused on a shelf. We were made to shine, even if it means giving a part of ourselves. That is why we feel lost in life, because we forget that true fulfillment is not in keeping, but in giving. And once we dare to shine, we will never feel lost again.